as they know, it's pretty much a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Just take it all in, and, when it's over with, it's over with. It's back to square one, just getting back to work, just working hard and trying to, take over the team or whatever team you get drafted to.
What do you remember, though, just leading up to that point, though, right? I mean, you talk about emotions, you talk about nerves. I mean, obviously, the way you were in front of us leading up to it, you were cool, calm, and collected. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you're human, right? You get ready for something that you've always dreamed of. And, for you specifically, that's in your family. That runs deep in your blood because of your father. So leading up to that Thursday, knowing that you were very likely going to be going, obviously, day one, what was those nerves like leading up to that?
Oh, man, really just my main thing was I was just wondering what I was living at. I always, been confident as a football player, so I wasn't really worried about that. I was just nervous on, what city I was going to be in. Am I going to be far away from home? And at that point, a couple of days before the draft, they really hit me that, I had no control over that. So at that point, I was really just hoping there was somewhere, kind of close to home, and luckily it ended up being Carolina. But man, just a lot of anxiety. Didn't get much sleep that week of the draft. Just all those emotions, coming at once.
For you, and I mentioned obviously with your father, it was one of those things that I felt like at South Carolina, it was understood. You weren't necessarily trying to live in his shadows, but at the end of the day, you have the Horn name. What was that like, knowing that going into that from a national standpoint, right? You're going to have the national media with those story angles, those storylines. But did you kind of feel like, this is number one where I'm supposed to be because of the Horn last name? And then number two, did you feel any kind of added pressure because of that from the outside?
No, not really. I wouldn't say pressure. Just growing up, it's something I've always dealt with. Obviously, getting ready for the draft or whatnot. Like you said, it's just the national media. So it was a little more eyes on me and things like that. But I wasn't really thinking about it just because I've been dealing with it for so long. And like you said, it was pretty much the expectation for me to get drafted to go early. That's the standard I held myself to. And, like you said, my dad playing in the league for so long, it was kind of already written. So it wasn't really no added pressure from that standpoint.
What do you remember from your dad, maybe just a piece of advice throughout the whole process? Because it just seems like, and I never had the opportunity to speak to him when you were here, but he seemed like he was a pretty, hands-off dad, kind of let you just be, and I'm sure, when he needed to say something to you, he would. But, what do you remember, maybe a piece of advice throughout the whole journey, or at least maybe at the beginning of the journey of kind of what to expect with this whole NFL process?
Really just making sure that I know it's just a drive. Just after all that, because, during the draft process, everybody telling you, how great you are, you about to come into a lot of money, if you're going day one or going early. So he kind of just kept me on the humble side and let me know, once you get drafted, all of it's over with. It turns off. So put your head down and get back to work. So he kind of just kept me grounded throughout the whole process. And I would say that's probably the most valuable thing he told me.
What do you remember the most about right after you got drafted? Because I was talking with Marcus Lattimore about it. He said that if there's one thing that he regrets, he wishes that he enjoyed it a little bit longer. Maybe he was, as soon as he got drafted, maybe an hour or two, he kind of just went back into work mode. But he's like, I wish I enjoyed it for, 24 hours and then got back into everything. He's like, I didn't feel like I really let it, I didn't really soak up the moment the way that it really was, because it was something that obviously I've worked my entire life for. Do you remember your kind of moment with that? And, what would you kind of tell these guys as they go through the process and get ready to hopefully hear their name called over the next couple of days?
Yeah, for me it was, I think that night I chilled out with, just my friends and family. We had fun and celebrated it. Took it all in, and then the next day I flew out to Charlotte and, did all the media stuff with the team. And, I still have my whole family with me, they came with me down here. So I would say I took it all in. And it really just, I don't know, man. It's just leading your whole life. You dream of that day and dream of that moment. When it happens, it's just like, I don't know, it just happens. It don't really hit you for a long time, maybe until you out in the practice field or, everybody have their own role. But, man, I would just tell the guys, just take it all in. They work hard, work super hard in high school and college and Little League, all leading up to hear their name called. Once it happens, just take it all in. Don't rush the process. Just have fun with it. Take it all in, man. Enjoy it. And like I said before, just after a couple of days, get back to work and be ready to come to your new team and try to get a starting spot. Try to work to make the team, whatever situation you're in, and make the best of it.
You said for a while it didn't feel real. I mean, what was that like between the moment you get that phone call from the Panthers until you're out there, media the next day? I mean, I think it's an understatement saying that it's a whirlwind. I mean, that phone call comes. I mean, how crazy was the next 12, 24 hours for you?
Man, after I got drafted and my phone was blowing up, next like 2 or 3 days, like I said, so much stuff going on that I really didn't, it didn't hit me. It was just like going into it, I pretty much knew I wasn't going to go past 10 or 11. So it didn't really hit me that I, got drafted until maybe the middle of, rookie, the OTAs, like when I was out there at practice. And I had like a moment, I just looked around like, man, damn, I'm really in the NFL. But yeah, man, it's just after that draft night, there's so much stuff going on, so many phone calls, your mom, friends calling, your cousins calling, and you really don't have much time to sit back and just think. You're being pulled in every direction, and the next day you're getting flown out to whatever team you're going to, and handling media that day and taking pictures, and it just all goes so fast. So it really didn't soak in for me till like I was out there practicing and actually making plays.
So now that you're in a position where you get drafted a year ago, the year prior you get to see some. I mean, shoot, not even just the year prior, you get to see dudes like Javon Kinlaw, Deebo Samuel, some of your teammates, and now you're in the league, and now you have an opportunity to see some of your former teammates like JJ Mbare, Nick Muse, these guys going through the process. What is that kind of like now, knowing like, all right, I used to watch some of my teammates go through the draft process. They made the league. I went through it myself. I know exactly what it feels like. Now I'm on the other side this year. Is it just different now watching it, knowing that these guys are waiting to get that same phone call that you got a year ago?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Actually, just looking back at it, I kind of look at it now, and I know I'm super young, but it made me feel old. It made me feel old as hell because I just remember being a freshman and sophomore, and looking up to guys that played in the league that didn't even get drafted early, like Chris Lamont, guys like him. I'm like, man, he really in the league. Playing a year with Rashad Penny, and seeing him win the Super Bowl while I was still in college, it gave me so much motivation, and it just seemed, he seemed like a superstar to me. Like those guys seemed like superstars to me, even though I got to, play with them or meet them or whatever. It's just like, man, those guys in the league. So now just me being that guy and, being a top 10 pick, and it just makes me feel weird because I kind of like been in those guys on the South Carolina team. I've been in their shoes before, and I kind of see how they're looking at it. It's super weird, but it just goes to show, like, for me, my main thought on it is just, the world keeps moving, everything just keeps going. So you got to make the most of it, whether you're still in college, whether you're in the league. You just got to try to capitalize on all your opportunities because time don't stop for nobody. So it's just crazy looking at the whole process.
2 last questions for you. Being one of those guys that is in the league now, whether it be the University of South Carolina or just guys that are younger that look up to you and want to be able to make it to the league, now that you've gone through that process to be able to at least make it there, and obviously it's difficult to stay there and continue, it's a day-by-day grind, but what do you tell those guys that want to make their dreams come true and make it to the NFL one day now that you've gone through that process?
Oh, man, just just do the right thing. It's a bunch of things I could tell a guy, but at the end of the day, it's just doing the right thing. It boils down to just, everybody has an intuition and them little voices in their head to tell them right from wrong. And even when it's hard to go the right way when everybody else, might be going the wrong way or might be BSing the workout or might want to skip class, just try to do the right thing. And of course you're gonna have your bad days, but make way more good days than bad days. Try to stay humble. Try to learn. Learn as if you don't know. Even if it's something you've been knowing since high school. Try to learn as if you don't know. Just lead with the right foot. Stay humble. Do the right thing. Listen to your elders. Listen to the coaches at South Carolina. They may just seem like college coaches to you, but most of them have seen this movie plenty of times, and they can lead you the right way. So just try to do the right thing, and you'll end up where God wants you to be.
For guys like myself and guys that will never understand what it's like to get drafted, how would you describe it?
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. The feelings, I can't even. It's hard to even describe it. It's just it make you think back of all the things you did to get to that point. And it's really like, damn, I really did it. Once the pick is in and you hear your name called, it's really like, man, I really did it. I went first round. That was my goal was to go top 5. I ended up a little bit right outside of that, but it was a blessing to go top 10. So for me, it was just, I really did it. I really got drafted, but at the same time, it kind of felt, I don't know, it kind of felt expected from my point of view, just because like I kind of expected to do it, and I'm just one of those guys that's always looking for the next challenge or the next move, and from a wide point of view, my next goal is to be a Hall of Famer. So after I got drafted, that's the main thing I started thinking about, and that's something I'm trying to work towards now. But it's definitely a dream come true. It's definitely a dream come true.
Good deal, man. Well, I appreciate it. And last thing I'm going to let you know, this has nothing to do with the interview.